Sad times in the world today. We mourn the death of Miss Renika Williams, who was murdered at the hands of Jonathan Robinson, live on Facebook. Condolences goes out to the Williams family. This woman left behind children. May they be loved, protected. May they be in the comfort of a good home and loving hands. That those children will be looked after, man. Sad thing about that is this. 9 times out of 10, nobody loves your children more than you. Usually when children lose their mother and their father, they end up in the hands of people who mistreat them because they know they don't belong to them. They be used for financial collateral and gain. And rather than being loved, they be taken advantage of. I pray that this is not the case. I pray that this tragic situation will bring some light and hope and love out of this situation into them children's lives. Let's pray for their safety. Let's pray for their well-being, and that they put into the homes of loving people who respect them, who will care for them, who will lead them in the right direction and comfort them when they lonely and they hurt and they suffering in need and want of their mother. Let's look into this situation, man. Today, man, we present the case before the Battle Truth Courts, man, in the One United Front. We're going to look into the case of Mr. Jonathan Robinson, who has been charged with murder. We at Battle Truth Court have our own charges that we also would like to add to the charges, which is more murder cases. Right now, he is being charged with second-degree murder, but we want to add on to these murders. Because even in the loss of this woman, Miss Renika Williams, even though she lost her life, more lives was affected by this tragedy. With that being said, so Miss Renika Williams takes to Facebook in pain, hurt, and embarrassed by the mistreatment of Jonathan Robinson, having an affair with her and Rika at the same time. She takes to Facebook and began to expose the whole situation. When a woman is scarred, when a woman feels like she's at her last end and she's scorned by the things she once agreed to, that's the danger in having affairs. Because even though it may be agreed upon, and even though you may have knowledge of somebody else, when you continue to have sex with people, feelings will develop whether you want them or not. Because you are opening yourself up emotionally and spiritually and physically to be connected with the person you're giving yourself to. And when you got this man sucking all over these women, having sex with these women, feelings does get involved. And we see situations like this happen where jealousy flares up. Then they get into it with each other, get mad. It seems like people take to Facebook nowadays like Facebook is their counselors. And they want to vent out to people or their personal lives and business who don't even give a damn. Who would sit there, listen to you, Hear all your little dirty secrets or things you want to say that you should have privately, only to mock you, laugh at you, and then use it against you later on in the future. And yet, we see that continue to happen all the time. And this was one of those cases where it ended up tragically. This woman lost her life, never to see her children again, murdered in her home. She took to Facebook and exposed the situation that was going on between her and Mr. Robinson, who was in an affair, who also was in an affair with this woman named Rika. So Juanita go to Facebook and she exposed the whole situation. This had to lead Rika and Jonathan into a situation between themselves. That Jonathan took it upon himself to drive from Texas to Louisiana with an assault rifle, come to Renika's home and hold her and her brother Jamarcy at gunpoint hostage in her home. Jamarcy is then ordered by Mr. Robinson to cut on his phone to give it to his sister, Miss Renika, to go to Facebook Live so that she can give an apology to Rika before the Facebook community. You see the perpetrator, Mr. Robinson, pacing back and forth, narrating the whole situation for Miss Renika to confess before Rika, his girlfriend, or who he more fond of, to give her some type of confirmation of clarity and assurance that their relationship may be better based upon Renika's apology. You hear Rika in the background saying she don't really care about the apology. You hear her in the background trying to calm the situation down with Jonathan because she's aware that he's going to do something crazy, which means she's knowledgeable of this man's anger, this man's rage, and how far it can go. She calls out to him and say, if you love me, you wouldn't do nothing crazy. He returns and says, no, no. While she telling him don't do nothing, he's persuaded and made up in his mind, this will end in blood. As he continued to threaten Renika over and over again, saying, you want to be famous? I'm going to make you famous. We're going to be famous today. Y'all want to be famous? We know in the black community, for the most part, being famous, making somebody famous, means to put them on the front page or on the news. However, it ends up in death in so many words. Now, a lot of people were giving Jamarcy brothers a lot of heat for not being heroic, to come up with some type of way or opportunity to somehow free themselves. But it's easier said than done when you're not the one being held at gunpoint. When you ain't the one in that situation. It's easy to say, oh, why he didn't do nothing? Because he don't have the gun. That's why he probably ain't do nothing. I'm pretty sure that man didn't want to sit there and watch his sister get executed and murdered before his face. And I'm pretty sure he didn't even think she would be murdered before his face because he noticed she had a relationship with this guy. So he had to be knowledgeable of him in some type of way to just think like in any other relationship, this would be no different than probably other times. I'm pretty sure this wasn't the first time they ever got into it. And seeing a black man with a gun is not nothing, not normal, when for the most part, all of them have guns. So her brother probably wasn't even looking at it like that. And he figured the best thing to do that seemed that wise was to not do nothing stupid that may go wrong or say something that may escalate the problem that will end up in murder. He don't know. But I'm pretty sure he didn't have no knowledge that that man was going to kill his sister in her own home right before his eyes. So this brother, Mr. Robinson, has a history of doing things like this. Because his girlfriend is trying to talk him out of doing something, even though he hadn't even done it. And she's over the phone speaking to him. So I'm pretty sure she probably had knowledge of what he was going to do based upon those merits. Because it's obvious they was aware of this man's anger and what he does. Come to find out, this wasn't the first time he did something similar to this. In 2015, this brother was charged with running a woman off the road, dragging her in a house, and holding her hostage and beating her in her home. Something similar to this. So this brother was definitely troubled. And he was a coward. I look at a lot of guys as being cowards who kill and shoot women. That's so cowardly. Why would you have to do that? This is a woman. You have to shoot a woman? Really? You have to shoot a woman. Not because she got a gun on you also. Not because she probably killed somebody in your family. Not that she gave you AIDS or something like that. But because she told the truth and what you were guilty of. Having sex with her, messing around at the same time with the woman you laying up on her. What do you expect for that? What do you expect for that to be? You think she should have just kept it on the low? Well, even though sometimes they agree to that, it don't always work that way. Especially when you continuing to have sex with somebody. See, as a man, when you having sex with a woman that's not your woman, and she may be agreeing to having sex with you, knowing you have a woman, but once you keep doing it, feelings get involved. When you keep having sex with somebody, eventually you fall for them. Because when you having sex with them, you opening yourself up to spirituality, you opening yourself up emotionally, you opening yourself up, you opening yourself up physically, spiritually, and emotionally. You understand what I'm saying? So even though it may be agreed with in the beginning, but it don't. And when you pounding on a woman sexually and you sucking all on this woman orally, then what's happening is feelings are developing. Feelings to the point that jealousy end up raging. You know what I'm saying? And it's obvious these girls knew each other. They all on Facebook. So it's obvious they knew each other. So how you think she feel knowing you with the other woman, seeing y'all Facebook pictures of taking pictures, lovey-dovey like a couple and spending money and splurging and things like that. And then you coming around her, any opportunity you can having sex with her at the same time. Come on, man. That's going to make a woman rage and speak out. Feelings involved now. Feelings are involved now. And you ended this woman's life just because you were trying to protect your place, your relationship, your coochie. That's what this all end up being about. So, however, when Renika exposed this man, Rika find out about it. When Rika find out about it, her and Jonathan get into it. Jonathan get mad, get in his car, go from Texas to Louisiana with an assault rifle, come to this woman's household, her and her brother hostage at gunpoint, force her to go on Facebook Live. Apologize to Rika. Rika trying to calm this man down. He don't want to hear nothing because he want to show off for Rika, even though he may be mad. He want to show off for him. And thank God to the people who called the police that ended up getting there in the midst of this situation escalating, because that man had it in his mind to murder and execute them and thought he was going to get away with it. The police showed up, intersected that whole thing. So God bless the people who called the police in the midst of that. When this man see the police outside, he take 4 shots at the police. Then he turns the gun over on Renika and ends her life on Facebook Live. only to then turn himself over to the police. These brothers are straight up cowards, man. I have no respect for no man who can murder and kill an unarmed person. I have no respect for a man who can murder and kill and gun down a woman. Who does that? Those are cowards who do that. I don't condone the physical abuse of any woman. But it was other measures you could have took if you was mad at a woman. If you was mad at a woman like that, than taking that woman's life and removing her from her children for the rest of her life, expecting yourself to go back home to yours. Now the very thing you were trying to protect and keep, you don't even have no more. This same woman you head over heels for, sprung about, who you were crazy about, who you trying to save that relationship to get this woman to take back everything she said to satisfy Rika and to letting you back in and accepting you. Now you lose her. Now guess what? That very thing you feared is going to happen. She will be in the arms of another man. Another man will be stroking her. She will be giving oral to another man too. The same thing you thought you were protecting and defending, now you have to deal with, because it definitely is going to happen. So you lost. You lost. You didn't win. You didn't end nothing. And you live with that curse for the rest of your life. Every day you wake up, may it remind you and may it play in your head over and over and over again till it draw you insane. Till it draw you insane. It makes no sense. The cowardly move these guys are doing out here. Everybody think they G.I. Joe and soldiers and gangsters because you got a gun. But the police, who the real gangster, got guns. Y'all don't want no drama and action with them. You turn the pistol over and assassinate this woman in the comfort of her own home. Only to then drop your weapon and hand yourself over to the police. Get up out of here. Straight up cowards. Straight up cowards who gun down unarmed people, who gun down females that you guilty of. Weak. Then you want to oppress and take over females' home. You can lay down with whoever you want to, but she can't. And the moment she try to do something, you want to kill the guy she messing with and you want to kill her, but you can have your cake and ice cream too. Brothers always oppressing people. It's the same thing I'm trying to get you to understand, Mr. Tommy Sotomayor. No matter how ratchet you think a woman is, this stuff is undeserving of. This stuff is undeserving of. If you don't want to deal with somebody, leave them alone. But you laid that ground in what you did. And you killed this woman. And you didn't only kill this woman. You killed the spirit of this woman's children. You killed the spirit of this woman's family. Her sons and daughters will never get to see her again. And now they forced to be raised by somebody other than their mother. And 9 times out of 10, when children are taken from their own parents into the home of somebody else who is not their parents, they don't be taken care of as well. Not at all. Some of them be molested, used for financial gain, beat, ostracized, neglected, and rejected. I hope this is not the case for these children. Women, y'all have to be very mindful in the guys y'all allow around y'all children and bringing into your households. A lot of these guys pretend to be things that they are not, just to win you over and persuade you to get between their legs. You must be patient and vigilant when choosing a person who you want to expose to your family and bring around your children and let into your personal life. You have to start being more patient and look and watch for the signs that people will reveal themselves if only you patient. Because you will find out These brothers are really lost. Watch how they carry themselves. Watch the friends who they hang around with. Watch the conversations and how they speak. Watch the things that they watch. Watch the things that they listen to. And you should be wise enough to understand the character and nature of those people because they enjoy the company they keep, which means they are in agreement with them. And this woman lose her life. And Jamarcy, the brother who was there, don't be hard on yourself. Do not allow the devil to condemn you in your mind, in your brain, in your heart, to thinking that you let your sister down, to thinking that somehow you are responsible for her dying, for thinking that you could have been heroic and done something to stop it. You probably be dead too. You probably be dead too. You're not responsible for an idiot and a clown who choose to step out and play God and take life at his own choosing, just because he's feeling some type of way. You're not responsible for a person doing that. He had no right to do it. And you was a victim yourself. I only hope that, brother, your nieces and nephews that's left behind, that you make sure that they okay, man. That you remind them of how dark and evil this world could be and put them on a path where they could be better men and better women for society in this world. Give them hope. Give them hope. Make sure they're not mistreated. That's the tribute you can do for your sister, to make sure her children is okay and raised in a loving environment and protected and watched over. That's what you can do for your sister, that her death may not be in vain. And do not allow the devil or the enemy to put any thoughts in your mind and in your heart to condemn you. To condemn you when you're not responsible for that man's actions, man. So, with that being said, man, he murdered this woman, cold-blooded, on TV, Facebook Live. And I hate how these black people, a lot of them using this social media to kill, to sell drugs, to hate, to poison, to cause division, strife, and contention, showing out for likes and pride and arrogance, acting like they famous and superstars, like they got real TV shows, like they real actors and actresses, all on Facebook, just embarrassing one another, making us look bad as a people with all the envy, with all the jealousy. I'm talking about all you see. Murder, 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 death, death, death. Where you at? I'm pulling up. Shoot, shoot, bang, bang. Horrible. We act like we never had nothing. And the moment they give us a little bit of something, we always take it to the full extent and find some way to damage and destroy that by destroying one another. And it's sad. And it's sad. Parents out there, y'all need to be more responsible. Fathers, you need to be involved in your children's lives. This is one of the greatest outcries that is hurting us as a people. The absentee and strength and power of black role models and fathers in the household. Y'all know y'all sons and nephews and little cousins got pistols and guns. Y'all know they'll hurt somebody, kill somebody, stick them up, and y'all sit there and won't even say nothing about it. You won't chastise, you won't encourage, you won't inspire, you won't rebuke. You just sit there and let it happen. And then cry boo-hoo when it's a casualty because of what you failed to give and do and take action upon. Because y'all cowards and y'all afraid of y'all own children, nephews, cousins. Cowards. Stop being cowards and stand up for something. I see it every time. And they take brothers like me and sisters out there who ain't related to these people, who got the guts to step out and tell them about these things. And your own bloodline won't even tell them. And what you fail to correct in your household becomes society's problem. And that's why you got a band of young wild killers out here. Because the absentees are the fathers in the home and the weakness of the mothers for the most part who don't know how to raise alone. But it always starts with the fathers, period. And we have to control and get that under control because we failed as a people. And it's nobody's fault but ours. With that being said, judgment will go as follows. Mr. Jonathan Robinson, we find you guilty. Guilty on numerous accounts of murder. Numerous accounts of murder. May you be handed over to the law to be given the full extent of the law without mercy. Just like you didn't have mercy on taking that woman away from her life forever. Just like you didn't have mercy on those children that you once smiled in their face, that you once rewarded with gifts, that you once hugged and clapped hands and act like you would be a person in their life. May you don't be given any mercy in no type of way. There will be no atonement for you. You murdered that woman in cold blood in order to satisfy the woman you was in love with, and you lost them both. And now you sit in prison as an idiot where you will remain for the rest of your life. Well, there will be no mercy for you. None. May you wake up every day to the horrors and nightmares of the life you took. May you see her face everywhere you go. In the showers, in the day rooms, at the lunch tables, in your dreams, in the hallways. May you be driven to insanity. May you be driven to insanity with the memories of what you've done to that woman. Yeah. And that's not even part of what's deserving for you and what you've done. You removed the woman from the face of this earth, not even knowing if that woman was right with God, which means you probably killed her twice. That woman sat there scared on that camera, pleading and hoping that you didn't take her life, afraid. And you overly aggressive coward took the life of a woman because you a coward, a flunky, a hater. There will be no mercy for you. May the hand of God remain strong upon you. And that is my judgment in the one united front.